And we got ourselves left team with PTR's No Bueno, which I think is Seavark. Oh boy, we got ourselves Casitas, a Feral. We got Crazy Cat on a Sub-Rogue or Assassination, hard to tell. At least Assass. Athaman on a Red Palom. And who's your fifth? Do you guys not have a fifth? Hey, you guys don't have a fifth. Hopefully your fifth gets in here at some point. We got ourselves Kel Zul as a Santa. Oh my god, Santa over here. We got Hell Outlaw back here. Bramble Hunt on a Marksman by the looks of it. We got ourselves Nene Red and Warg Ren. Bramble Hunt gonna be first up versus PTR is No Bueno. That's gonna be F3, F1, and 1. Yo, it's so hard to figure out like which one I'm swapping to, dude. Literally swapping to the wrong one, man. Got an AFK one. Oh well, that's okay. Bramble going in for a big sniper shot with a big shot onto PTR de Vueda, but looks like he's gonna go for the images. One of the images is a defensive cooldown, by the way. Every time the hunter gets, the mage gets hit, it actually is 20% reduced, and the image disappears instead. So Bramble Hunt gets a bunch of hits onto him. Looks like it's going to be quite a bit of damage from this Arcane Mage. Bramble sitting at about half a health. Does get a scatter onto a PTR's No Bueno. Did go for an Invis for a second. Dropping down mad damage with Arcane Power. Bramble, how much to go for a Turtle Shell? And it's going to be Seavark hiding behind the pillar for a second. Waiting for the Turtle Shell to be down. Does he have the big Arcane missiles to follow? Bramble trying to go feign death for a second. Not going to work on PTR's No Bueno. Or Seavark. And that's going to be Seavark just getting those Arcane Blasts for a side. Rapid Fire does hit him. Arcane Missiles are going to fly, and I think it's going to be Bramble down for the count, man. Seavark taking one out. And looks like the fifth person on that team is not going to be coming back anytime soon. Kelzul up next as Santa. Is he playing Affliction? Destro. I wonder if he's going to play it a little bit differently. Trying to see if he can maybe get a Rain of Fire to get Seavark out in the open. Touch of the Magic is going to be available for Seavark. Trying to get those missiles up and running. Does he get interrupted though? Short knock up onto Zul for a second. Actually, no, he doesn't knock him up. I guess Zul jumped. Because he can't play knock up anymore. He has to play Orb. He can only choose between knock up and the Orb. That's going to be some fears trying to come out onto Seavark. Does not get hit with those fears. I think he just went for an Invis to get away from it. Going to be kiting away from Zul. Does get him hit with an interrupt. As long as he can get a Nova onto that pet, he should be good. Did we get a fifth? Okay, no, we did not get a fifth on team Seavark, but that's going to be Seavark actually getting this blast onto the pet. Going to be Zul poking out in the open. Fell Succubus is what he was trying to summon out here. Trying to see if maybe Succubus will be better against the Mage interrupt onto that Shadow spell for Zul. Arcane Blaster coming out. Zul locked out on Shadow for a second. Doesn't go for Chaos Bolts. Infernal finally coming down. Do the Chaos Bolts make a play here? Does not land inside the first Chaos Bolt. PTR No Bueno sitting about half his health with 2 Infernals on him. And Zul has still plenty of damage. If he just makes it rain fire onto PTR No Bueno, those Infernals could do a lot of damage. Going to be raining of fire. Does not summon Infernals. Drain life onto one of the images from the boy Seavark though. Zul so far hasn't really went in for the big damage. I'm almost expecting him to have the time to just go for fire damage and maybe try to sneak a Chaos Bolt in, but it looks like it's not going to happen. There's going to be a Succubus CC, but the Infernal breaks it, and Zul trying to see if he could walk over to Seavark. But looks like he's just going to get slowed down by the Arcane Mage before he can even reach over there. Maybe Reaping Flame from Seavark trying to make a Missiles play here. And does get the Missiles play and the Reaping Flames. Looks like we got a fifth here. It's going to be Worth of the Monk on a Dwarf. Monk looks like Anna Red is going to give Seavark at least a bit of an honor duel here. At least a bit of a bow of an Arcane Mage versus a Retribution Paladin. Alright, let's see how bad is this Retribution Paladin mobility. Like I cried, he knows it's gonna happen. He knows, boys. He knows. Well, we'll see how it goes then. At least 3 holy power. Wait, who's running around as a turtle jumping around? That's actually awesome. That's actually awesome. This is a turtle running around everywhere. And somebody else is doing the same thing. Don't, guys, don't. Just these 2 goobers with eyes of the beast. Come on, don't get in there. Don't get in between arenas, boys. Don't get in between arenas. You can go around, do your thing, as long as you're not in between of the boys, man. But that is cool. Look at those 2. Boys, that's hunters being hunters. Am I right or am I right? And in red, trying to see if he can sneak in a couple judgments over at Seavark from behind the pillar. Juke out, throw a judgment, back up, heal up. Because every time he pokes his head against Seavark, it just doesn't go out well. It's going to be another touch of the magic for Seavark with big arcane power should be huge damage right here. Big arcane missiles onto NA. Does get a shield advantage. Burns through a shield advantage so quickly. Big blast available for Seavark into a Hodge onto Seavark. Looks like he's able to trinket and blink, or maybe get himself a reflect, or I mean time warp. Gonna be executed sentence dropping down. Does he minimize the damage? Takes a little bit of damage from it, but it's quite a bit. NA Red has wings up and running. Should be quite a lot of damage. PTR No Bueno does get him into a Nova, though. Does he get the kick? I don't know if he was able to get the kick right. I don't think he was able to get that down. Invis coming out for the Mage, and Red just is going to get him out with a wake of ashes. Seavark not really looking all that good with his hard trinket available, so it looks like he had someone else with that other trinket. I don't think he's running normal, I don't think... Actually, he might be running normal blink. He might be running normal blink. Because I don't know if he's going for... Because last time me and Seavark did some duels in PTR, he really liked, at least used a lot, the talent to give you a shorter time... ultra time, which gives you quite a bit of mobility and defensive potential. Big missiles around the corner. Man, these missiles with Azure traits, missiles around the corner are just even more punishing. Quick Invis by PTR No Bueno. Looks like he's not playing Shimmer. Yeah, looks like he's playing normal blink. He has to be. Otherwise, it would have been an easy Shimmer around the corner. Missiles doing a bit of damage. Images are up and running in case Enerich decides to turn around and get some damage back at Seavark. And just getting those slows onto the red. Needs that Hand of Freedom immediately. Gonna be maybe red, maybe with some big damage back to Seavark. Bubble coming down as Arcane Missiles are just punishing this man. Survivability of a Paladin seems a little bit on the lower end, at least on PTR. Gonna be a poly onto red as he got wings. Execute sentence is gonna be on. PTR No Bueno does have time warp for this damage. That's going to be lots of missiles. Shield events available for Red. Does get a big blast on the Seavark. Time warp kills him up to full. Red super low in health. Missiles still blasting him. And does go down to the missiles. Was a little bit of a shorter. Get it? Because he's a gnome. Shorter, longer play. But he had to do it. Next up is either going to be Hell Outlaw or War Grand. It looks like it might not be. Or is it Hell Outlaw? Maybe they'll want to play against Seavark. This is going to be the camo. Let's see if one of these guys might be able to do something against Seavark, man. If at least one of them can. It's a little rough, man. This is rough for certain. Outlaw trying to see if he can get a trap in there. Is that a freezing trap? Did he miss it? Was it maybe a knockback trap? Tar trap? Because he definitely threw something. PTR No Bueno could pick up the eyes if he wants to. It looks like he's kind of just waiting and letting Hell Outlaw get the open if he needs. Trap up. It looks like it's going to be knockback trap. It's going to get him out in the open. Double crucible. That's going to be the pet out in the open. Hell Outlaw, I think, comes out of camera because of that. Tossing in nades, touching the magic for PTR No Bueno. Making those missiles happen. Hell Outlaw might need to close the gap and interrupt him. It's going to go for a Vein Death Turtle Shell up and running. I think he was able to remove the damage of that. Stun on PTR No Bueno. Blinks next to the Hunter. This is where Hell Outlaw needs to harpoon and get some big damage in. Swap it to his gun as a survival. Trying to make some arcane shots from a distance. Throwing in nades. There's going to be some missiles hitting him. Does get him many minutes at the last second. Should be able to heal him up by a hair. But still try to swap to that gun as a survival. Isn't going to be any good for him though. 31% damage and still able to get a little bit of healing. So far, Seavark hasn't really had the most trouble with this Hunter yet. Swap into a gun as a survival in PvP. Is that going to be actually viable? I think it'd be cool if you could actually make a legit play out of it. I think personally it'd be cool. And one thing that Hell Outlaw does have is dots. The grenades, the pet. I guess the pet isn't really a dot per se, but they're still pretty good. Nice knockback onto Seavark. Trying to get a Cyclotronic Blast. Getting interrupted on it, though. Very, very unfortunate. That's going to be some manic damage for Hell Outlaw. As long as he keeps dots on PTR's No Bueno, he might be good. He needs to get a new pet up and running immediately. Does he know it? New pet, right now. You need to revive pet. I think revive pet channel is a lot longer, isn't it? It's like the summon pet for Warlocks, is it not? Arcane Orb is going to get Hell Outlaw in the open. PTR No Bueno just needs to get himself a nice setup. Touch of the Magi with Arcane Missiles from range. Hell Outlaw cannot interrupt the Mage from range. He doesn't have an interrupt in his gun. Getting himself Eagles up and running. Needs to swap to the weapon if he wants to make the Eagles really work. Going to be short Invis for his PTR No Bueno, but the Hunter can see him through Invis. Getting the pet over there, trying to get a polymorph to the pet. Hunter going in for a little bit of self-heal. PTR closing the gap. Needs to maintain the dots onto PTR. Does he have any more defenses? He needs to get aggressive. He needs to go into Harpoon, get some big damage in. Gonna be PTR just so they doing a bit of a standoff with the Hunter. Arcane Blast almost kills him. Hell out is super low. Arcane Orb barely gets him and finally does go down with Wargren. Last one left as a survival. Needs to close the gap. There might be PTR going down here. PTR no bueno in an ice block. Not a lot of health available. Has images if necessary. Time warp. I don't know if he's there. I actually can't see time warp at all. Temporal available as well if he needs to. Might need to use temporal as early as possible. Try to see if he can blink away from Wargren. That's going to be that temporal for a second. Does have images. The pet is going to do quite a bit of damage though. Yeah, it's going to do quite a bit of damage. Try to get a time warp. Barely any health available. Might have to time warp. Freeze a trap. Does he use time warp? Does Wargren get one more hit? Bike getting flown from a mile away. Bike still connects. I think it's going to be lights out for the mage. Unless someone can heal. Wait, is he actually going to do it? Wait, how is he healing? Hello? I think it might be it. I might be dead. Kill shots. Down he go. Yep, Wargren did it. That was a pretty good duel for Seavark. Literally just kiting people around. Mad missiles, mad damage. Turtle shot coming out for Wargren versus Warthor the Monk. Warthor Monk? I like Warthor the Monk. But he does have the Dwarven like heritage armor, which looks cool. Worgen getting caught in a ring of peace. Freezing trap is available for Warthor, though the Zuen pet is out. I think it looks like it's a proc Zuen, maybe. If Worgen can get himself some dots on the Warthor, is gonna harpoon, maybe get some big damage. Huge setup. Karma needs to happen. Does get the karma. Does he get enough to kill here? The healing is not gonna be as high at 50% dampening. What Worgen needs to do is survive this karma long enough and turn the damage around back into Warthor's. Does he get to incap for a second? Warthor tried to vivify. Does not have enough and does go down. It looks like Wargren does take him out at the last second. Oh my goodness. Christina tried to see if he can find the survival hunter out. Does get flared out. Try to get an opener. Does not get the stun opener. Working still in a bad spot. Using... he's using Scarab Beast on Christina. First time we've seen a hunter use that in Shadowlands pre-patch PTR. Big dress by Christina. I think it's going to be lights out for the hunter. Yo, dude. That was a long game between Seavark and all the boys with a 4-1, man. Looks like Arcane Mage is slap, boys. Looks like the slap. I think a lot of that game ended up being the hunter and the paladin hanging around behind the pillar, which is a little bit unfortunate, right? It's a lot of unfortunate. But we got to get another one going, man. I'll probably cut that one out a little bit, like cut it down a bit because it was just so long. But using a gun with tank shot to purge magic spell for magic is a good idea. Well, actually, Baron, the change, you don't need a gun anymore.